Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk MECHAnews! I am Luke Owen, coming to you live on Christmas Eve, which means I can officially say there's only one more sleep till Christmas. Which also means I'm the only one in the office today. It's ever so lonely. So leave a comment down below to let me know how you're spending the holidays. We've got a stacked Mecha news for you today, including those Royal Rumble scrapped plans, a new trademark by All Elite Wrestling, and the details on Impact Wrestling's new TV deal. And make sure you support WrestleTalk by buying one of our super awesome sexy t-shirts. I mean, you won't get it in time for Christmas. Damn you, post office! But you could buy one for someone after Christmas. It doesn't have to be a Christmas present. Like a wedding present for awesome people like Sarah Logan of Riot Squad and Row of War Raiders, for example, who got married recently on December 22nd. But this wasn't just no ordinary wedding. Presumably trying to outdo Ember Moon's Game of Thrones themed wedding, Logan and Row had a Viking wedding. Logan posted on Instagram, "There are no words to explain the magic that was last night, and I am confident everyone there can attest to that." And those there included NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler looking utterly terrifying, and her Riot Squad companions Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Now I wouldn't change a thing about my wedding day attire, but Row's outfit does look super comfy. Congrats guys, the wedding looked rad. And while Row is off getting married, one of NXT's biggest signings of 2018, Matt Riddle, is looking ahead to 2019. In particular, January's Royal Rumble. Riddle is set to make his WWE main roster debut, so to speak, at the 26th of December Madison Square Garden show, where he teams with Aleister Black, Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and Velveteen Dream to take on Tommaso Ciampa and the Undisputed Era of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish. Johnny Gargano was originally supposed to be in Riddle's spot, but his pseudo heel turn has removed him from the lineup altogether. Riddle tweeted of the match, "If you haven't heard, my year isn't over, and I get to wrestle in the legendary MSG in NYC on the Raw brand, which makes this my biggest debut of 2018, and it's gonna be the debut of all debuts." And while guesting on the latest ENC Pod of Awesomeness, Riddle told Edge and Christian that he wants another debut in 2019, saying, "I know TakeOver is the same weekend as the Royal Rumble, and I'll be honest, I'm a big Rumble guy. You never know, there might be a spot open. Maybe I get in there, maybe I make some history." But someone whose Royal Rumble plans have changed is the man and former SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Last week it was announced by the McMahons and Triple H McMahon that we were heading into a new era of WWE full of change for the greater good. One of those announced changes was the removal of the automatic rematch clause, a storytelling crutch WWE has had for many years that has unnecessarily extended feuds. And despite reiterating this point to Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair on SmackDown, it was randomly announced on Main Event of all shows that Asuka would defend her SmackDown Women's Championship against former champ Lynch in a rematch. Does anyone actually watch Main Event? What are the Ascension up to these days? However, those plans have now been changed. With no official announcement, the match was removed from WWE.com, and former SmackDown General Manager Paige tweeted, "So I tried to make one last match before my time as SmackDown Live GM came to an end, but unfortunately Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship is not official for Royal Rumble. Oops." So what happened? Well, according to John Pollock of Post Wrestling, Asuka versus Becky Lynch was the plan for the Royal Rumble and was going to be announced on Tuesday SmackDown Live, but on Tuesday morning it was decided to reformat the Rumble card and that match was cancelled. Sadly, the people in charge of Main Event's production were not told this and aired the announcement of Asuka versus Lynch as they hadn't been given new information. And just like Baron Corbin, the McMahons have put the blame all onto Paige. God damn it, Paige, this is all your fault.
This is disgusting. Oh my God, what's he gonna do?
This is the fastest he can move.
Nope.
He is not a professional athlete.
John is trying to get Stone to come towards him. What a death-defying maneuver by John Murray.
John Murray has special hold on these people. I don't know how anyone could get behind this man and call him a professional athlete.
And that was your Impact Wrestling Slam of the week, but it's not quite the most recent entry. As some of you will have noticed, Ollie Davis did a super news on Friday instead of my Mecha News. And as such, I couldn't show you all this little gem of the professional athlete John Murray getting a legit holy S-word chant during his match with Stone Rockwell. The video comes from Impact Wrestling's joint show with Rockstar Pro Wrestling from December 14th, which aired on their Twitch channel. And as you would expect of a clip of this caliber, it was shared online. And as you might have guessed, Jim Cornette saw it and didn't like it. Was assuming this was a rib and not a real Impact Wrestling show. I see I was wrong. Sorry guys, I like some of your employees, but putting this unprofessional fat on the air is one of many reasons why your business has the stench of grisly death on it. Ah, I see Jim is yelling at clouds again. This tweet had a few wrestlers come to the defense of Murray, including his opponent in the ring Rockwell, Sugar Dunkerton, Jimmy Jacobs, and the master of the dick druids himself, Joey Ryan, who tweeted, giving Cornette's track record of being wrong about every star to break out over the past 15 to 20 years, it looks like John Murray is about to make a lot of money. But while John Murray has been getting Impact Wrestling some social media buzz, a press release from late last week might be a bigger news story. Throughout November, it had been reported that Impact Wrestling were leaving Pop TV in search of a better deal. Pop has been the home of Impact for a couple of years now, but recently moved the show to a later 10 p.m. slot, which drastically hurt their ratings. The Wrestling Observer and PW Insider both reported that Anthem, the company that owns Impact, was shopping the product around to various networks, including WGN, who hosted All In's pre-show, True TV, the home of Impractical Jokers, and Sci-Fi, the former home of WWE SmackDown and ECW. It was then reported that because Impact hadn't found a new home, it was going to stay on Pop until at least the first quarter of 2019. Well, that looks like it's no longer the case, as Anthem sent out a press release about the new home for Impact Wrestling, Pursuit Channel. The press release reads, beginning on Friday, January 11th, featuring the aftermath of Homecoming, Impact will air weekly on Pursuit Channel on Friday night at 10 p.m. Pursuit Channel is most known for being a hunting channel, but more interestingly is a part of Impact Wrestling owners Anthem. However, the show being moved to Friday nights and staying at the worst time slot of 10 p.m. has not been seen as a good move by many wrestling journalists. Made worse by Pursuit Channel's Twitter feed not advertising the show's announcement or debut. Not only that, but Pursuit Channel is available in 55% fewer homes than Pop TV and is not carried by the likes of Comcast. Mike Johnson of PW Insider has reported that Impact had spoken with a number of cable networks about potentially shifting there, but the fact they were unable to score a deal anywhere other than a network that their parent company has a vested interest in doesn't speak well for how those conversations went. He adds in another report, no matter how positive anyone wants to claim this move is, it's obvious this was a stopgap move made out of desperate necessity. Someone who is staying positive about the move is Impact producer P.T. Williams, who told Dennis Farrell on the Wrestling Perspective podcast, I don't know what Pop's demographic was per se, but when you have to be cautious of what you say and do so you can still be on that Pop TV channel, that's tough, because that limits what you can do with your product. Now we're on Pursuit, it's an outdoors channel. It's a demographic pretty much for males, like hunting, shooting, fishing, that kind of stuff. Male-dominated interests and activities. So it'll be interesting to see if we're going to be a little more edgy maybe, which I know a lot of wrestling fans have been starved of with the PG era that's been going on with WWE. Maybe that's going to be a thing going forward. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio was less positive about the move, noting that it's the same worst time slot on a worse day on a station that very few people even know exists. However, he reports there is a reason for the later time slot. It's not for now, but in October the feeling is millions of people are going to be watching wrestling from 8 to 10 p.m. on Fox, and Impact is going to start right after that ends. So that's the reason they chose that time slot. Adding that they didn't want to go into a prime time slot and compete against WWE, because the last time they tried that in 2010, they did not fare well. Wrestling journalist Rovert is far more doomsaying of Impact's current status, posting on Twitter, remember that mysterious Impact meeting with WWE at Titan Towers was told before it was made public several days later that Impact was up for sale to WWE. They are in dire straits. Dave Meltzer, on the other hand, noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Anthem will want to keep Impact in business for Fight TV in Canada, especially since they have now lost UFC. January is set to be a big month for professional wrestling, with New Japan holding their annual Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th, Impact going back to their old stomping grounds for Homecoming, NXT UK hosting their first takeover event in Blackpool, as well as NXT TakeOver Phoenix and the Royal Rumble. But one other important piece of news coming in January is the announcement teased by Cody Rhodes, which will likely be details on the rumored All Elite Wrestling, which is set to be run by Cody and the Young Bucks along with their elite cohorts. Trademarks for All Elite Wrestling and AEW were filed a couple of months ago by Tony Khan, the son of billionaire Zahid Khan, including what many believe is a new TV show called Tuesday Night Dynamite. And that January announcement just got more interesting, as it's being reported that a new trademark has been filed by the team behind AEW for Fight for the Fallen, which has been filed for wrestling, music, pay-per-view, and merchandise, which could be a good indication this will be the name of the second All-In show off the back of their incredible success in September. Perhaps AEW will be the subject of January's fantasy booking warfare, but who will it be between? We're now doing a winner stays on version of FB Dub, with myself going head to head with El Fakador Laurie Blake this month on pitching our booking for Ronda Rousey vs Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35, which was suggested on Patreon by Jack Van Fleet and voted for by the rest of our pledge hammers. If you haven't watched them already, our pitches went up yesterday, and there is already a clear leader, with Laurie Blake storming ahead with 2,352 votes, while I'm on just over 1,000. There's still time for me to pull this back though, so make sure you watch both videos and cast your votes to see who will take on Ollie Davis in January. And that's all from me in 2018. Well, me in a live form anyway. We've pre-taped a load of content that will be going up until the end of the year. It's Listomania! With WrestleTalk counting down the top 10 most shocking moments in WWE, every heel turn ranked, WWE's biggest successes, as well as Raw, SmackDown, and NXT in review Wrestle Rambles, and of course our top 10 wrestlers and matches, which will no doubt get people mad because the NXT North American Championship ladder match is not in the list. And tomorrow we've got a special treat for you, as it's the annual Wrestle Ramble Christmas special, where Ollie, El Fakador, myself, and WrestleTalk Andy Datson drink beer, open presents, play games, and generally talk a load of nonsense. And if you're a subscriber to the Wrestle Ramble podcast feed, we'll be releasing a special Christmas present for you. 3.5 hours of Ollie and I reading Big Apple Takedown, which comes from our Patreon exclusive podcast, Ramble Club. This has been my first full year at WrestleTalk, and it's been a great one. We've had the highs of Wrestling MediaCon, the new Wrestle Ramble set, and Beyond the Mat at the Prince Charles Cinema, and we can't wait to share our next projects with you in 2019. I personally would like to thank Ollie and the rest of the WrestleTalk team, including our editor Simon. Hi Simon, thanks for editing this on Christmas Eve. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for your comments and feedback this year, even those of you who don't like me. A Merry Christmas to you all, or Happy Holidays if you would prefer that. Love you guys. But with that out of the way, why not watch one of those Listomania videos with every NXT call-up in 2018 ranked? And subscribe to the Wrestle Ramble podcast to get that special Christmas present tomorrow morning. I've been Luke Owen, and that was wrestling.